Tiny little components, mysterious production processes, complex supply chains that nobody paid attention to. Until last year, in 2021, the global automotive industry lost 10 million cars because of a shortage of semiconductors. I'm Christian Schuh, the host of Procurement in the Park. My Profit from the Source co-authors and I have a recipe to prevent another crisis like the one in semiconductors from happening, at least on an individual company level. And it can be found within our book Third Building Block, how your company's supplier ecosystem needs to change. And in our 10th recommendation, halve your risks. About 15 years ago, the idea of black swans, a book by Nassim Taleb, became fashionable. And while it has its merits, it has become something of a lazy excuse. All this talk about black swans that are impossible to predict has distracted us from looking out for grey rhinos, a book by Michel Wucker charging in our direction. Let me explain. You could be forgiven if this was the first semiconductor crisis ever, but it is not. Semiconductor crises occur every 3 to 5 years. We had one in 2011 after an earthquake and a tsunami struck Japan. We had another one in 2017 and 2018. So here's a question. Why did it take car makers 7 months to recognize that there's a semiconductor crisis? Let's look at the slide on the screen in a bit more detail. Dell, HP, and the other PC makers have been in crisis mode since May 2020 or latest June 2020. Car makers noticed that something was going off track in December 2020 or January 2021, 7 months later. Imagine what a car maker could have achieved in these 7 months had they recognized the crisis. One of the car makers asked me how they could have noticed earlier. Would they have needed an AI scanning available reports? As you can see on this slide, this would not have made a big difference. German media were actually lagging the market. UK media were doing only marginally better. Mainland China media may have given them a head start of approximately 1 quarter. Following TSMC guidance would have yielded a similar result. Turns out that the most effective measure would have been simply to talk to Dell or other PC makers. I think there's a wider message here. If you buy a product, any product, you of course need to have intimate knowledge of your suppliers. But this is not sufficient. You also need to have intimate knowledge of the suppliers of your suppliers and of the suppliers of those suppliers. And of course, you can do this by deploying a lot of smart people and running all kinds of analysis. But there's a more efficient way of achieving pretty much the same. Talk to people in relevant industries, not people in your own industry. As we have seen, all car makers made the same mistake at the beginning of the current semiconductor crisis. If you're buying semiconductors, talk to a Dell. If you're buying plastics, talk to a Lego. You get the idea. This video concludes the series on the 3 building blocks and the 10 recommendations in my new book. Going forward, I will cover specific aspects of building world-class procurement organizations. Still interested? Then subscribe to my channel. Bye.